Well, good morning from Osaka. I was not planning on starting this video right here. I am at Kyobashi Station, which is sort of on the edge of Osaka, and I'm taking the Keihan train out to today's destination, which is a small little train station in the middle of Hirakata City called Hoshigaoka. Unfortunately, the trains are stopped. All these people here are not usually standing here like this. It's like 9:50 in the morning. There's a sign up and announcements in Japanese and English that there was an accident involving a person and an injury, which usually means somebody jumped in front of a train somewhere. They say it's going to resume, service is going to resume at 10:30, which is about 45 minutes away or 40 minutes away. The JR train is over here. That also goes to the station, but it doesn't go to where I'm going today, so it's no good. So I'm kind of stuck here in Kyobashi for at least half an hour or more. So that's the situation here. I promise I'm going somewhere. Well, it's not up to me. I think I'm going somewhere. We'll see what Keihan does for us. Ooh boy. Today is a lesson in perseverance when traveling. It took me 2 attempts, both disastrous, to reach my destination, the rural train station of Hoshigaoka on the edge of Osaka Prefecture. But when I eventually arrived, I found a curious little community to explore. Why? Winding hilly paths take you between crammed rows of attractive houses, and there are plenty of unusual and unexplained touches that make the area, like everywhere, worth the effort to explore it. I like this kind of thing. Of course, I wasn't expecting train problems to make the adventure require this much effort today, but you do what it takes. Well, as long as we have an extra half hour, might as well go wandering around the area around Kyobashi, and I'll tell you a story of why when I finally get to Hoshigaoka, it's going to be an achievement in and of itself, because this is not the first time I've been thwarted trying to get there. Where we're going to walk here is just sort of the grimy little back alleys of Kyobashi. A lot of bars and little restaurants and karaoke places and gambling houses. All these people are waiting for the pachinko parlor to open. Pachinko is kind of like a little gambling thing. We put money in and like little silver balls fall, kind of like Plinko on Price is Right, and they all bounce down. You're supposed to win money. People take it very seriously. So here's my story. This is not the first time I have tried to get to Hoshigaoka this week. Went the other day, I got my camera, packed all my things in my bag, woke up extra early to take all these trains, same trains as today. Took me all morning to get there. I was on a train platform and I was going to start my video, but the camera didn't work. My DJI Pocket 2, which I've only had for about 6 months, 8 months, it wasn't working. It would turn on, but it would just shake, and then it would kind of give up. Sat there on the platform in the waiting room for like 45 minutes doing test videos and researching on my phone and trying to reset it and calibrate and do everything I could think of, and I cannot get it to calibrate, and I can't use this today, and I'm already here, and nothing worked, and I didn't have any backup or anything, so I had to just go home. And now I've got to send that camera back because it's still under warranty, and hopefully they'll fix it, but for a while I'm not going to have my regular camera. So today I'm using my iPhone for this. But I'm here trying again, and then I get to the station and there has been an accident and the trains aren't running. So eventually I will get there. I will get to Hoshigaoka Station. Let's go check on the station. Well, as I might have suspected, if anything, there are more people waiting now. When the trains do start running, they're going to be so packed that it's going to be impossible to actually get a train for a while. All right, it is 10:30 now. We're all still standing here because of my genius knowledge of trains here. After standing around for half an hour wasting time, I've realized that there is an alternate back way to get there. It's 2 stations that are not exactly connected, but you can walk between them, and there's a connection there. I think I'm going to do that because it'll only take half an hour or 20 minutes when the train starts running. I think it'll be faster than this anyway, or about the same as this. I'm going to go back to JR and do it the JR way. Although they seem to be making some kind of announcement, but I don't know what's going on. So let's go back to JR. We're going to find a train that leaves at 10:38 and goes right to where I want to go, and then have to make a connection there. But I should have done this 45 minutes ago, but let's go try that. Well, here you go. Much quieter, all the problems with the accident or whatever on the other line do not affect this line. This is JR. So about 5 minutes to go until my train comes here, and a pleasant little 20-minute ride. That was a waste of time, but that's what makes the story so sweet. Well, here we are at Kawachi Iwafune Station. This is the JR train that's leaving. The place I'm going to is way up there. And so I have to go walk now along this train line down there somewhere to find the other station, to find the station on the line that I'm going to so I can get up there. Woo. But quieter, and things are apparently running on schedule here, unlike the Keihan line. To get around on trains and buses in Japan, like everybody else, I use an app. So I type where I want to go and where I'm coming from, and it gives me a few options. The reason I didn't know about this walking option is that it didn't tell me, because you have to walk, you know, enough space between the stations that it's not considered technically a transfer station, so it's not part of their, it doesn't give you that option. But it's perfectly doable. Lots of people are doing it here. It's about a 4 or 5 minute walk. So one of the failings of those apps is that they don't consider this a transfer point, but it is really, if you can walk a little bit. So the upside is we are somewhere closer to the destination. I'm going to be exhausted by the time this adventure begins. Okay, here we are at Kawachi Mori Station. I think that's what it's called. This is a little branch line called the Katano line. It actually is a Keihan station. It's a little branch line off the main Keihan line that I gave up on this morning, the one that had the accident. This apparently is not affected by the accident, so this is still running. So at any second, a train is going to come around this corner and take me to where we are going, which once again is Hoshigaoka Station. And here's a little taste of things to come. It may look something like this. I do not know. This is actually kind of nice. Maybe I should do it here. If the train never comes, I'm just doing the video here. Okay, here we are, Hoshigaoka Station. So we made it, it's 11:30 or something. There goes the train. Before I leave the station here, which is Hoshigaoka, I feel like getting down on my hands and knees and like kissing the ground, kissing the platform. Before we go out and start actually exploring, I'm gonna get some drinks from these machines, I hope. Okay, got the water, the sparkling water for during the walk. Although thankfully it's cloudy today, a little bit overcast, so it won't be blazingly hot too much. And a black coffee for 130 yen. And as soon as I drink this coffee, the video and the adventure will begin, I promise. Okay, here we are. It begins now. So this is the Hoshioka area. It is a little neighborhood, I guess, in the bigger Hirakata city. Hirakata city is sort of one of the large cities of Osaka Prefecture. Again, I have the list of 11 things to look for, but basically we're just gonna wander around and get a sense of Higashioka. See a motor scooter. I see several. That's an easy one, but check that off the list. Just like the last one. First one we check off the list is the motor scooter. Seems like actually a pretty nice area. They're nice and clean and sort of upscale, this little street anyway. And quiet. And an obachan with a cart. Obachan with a cart. That's another thing to check off the list. A tiny little triangle of a playground. A bench, overgrown weeds, and a slide. That's all right. Again, I didn't do a whole lot of research on this area because in English nor in Japanese is there a Wikipedia page about it. There's a Wikipedia page about Hirakata City, the big city certainly, but not this neighborhood, Hoshigaoka. Only the station. And not much information about the station either. So this is kind of a mystery, what might be around here or might not be around here. Lots and lots of parking. Starting to look more promising to my eyes because, as you know, I like the decayed stuff. Let's see, let's turn off this road. Nothing's going on this road. The name of this place, Hoshigaoka, means star hill, I guess. Hill of stars. It does seem kind of hilly. I don't know where the stars are. So I'm going to get my exercise today. Chiropractor. And chiropractor meets Halloween. If you saw my video from Gyoku Keijimai a few weeks ago, see these two little raccoons? That's what I'm talking about. People put them in front of their businesses, and they come from that area in Shiga. And we saw the source. Ooh, look at this hill. All right, exercise time. Go up this steep hill. Hey, 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 hey. I think this counts as an interesting, notable statue, figurine. Another dog, just like last time. Check that off the list. Once more, as I say, I didn't research this much. I did look around a little bit, this area on Google Maps. Didn't notice the hills, just noticed kind of the way the buildings looked. Don't remember seeing this big dinosaur building though. So we gotta go figure out what the dinosaur building is. Kind of a gorgeous neighborhood. The houses are all kind of unique looks and a lot of ornate details, iron railings and stuff, a lot of plants. Making the most out of a small space. Does that count as a notable bird? Possibly. It half counts. If we don't see anything else, that'll count. If we do see something else, we'll hope for something better. Doesn't make any sense. Public path or not? Hard to tell. I'm going to chance it. This can't be a public path. Let's see what it looks like out here. Well, maybe so. Well, there's notable birds, but it has to be live birds for my checklist. But if we see those, maybe that's what, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. This is a very, very strange place. Because over here I see more dinosaurs. You hear that? Hotel Artia Dinosaur. What in the world? Like a dinosaur resort, a dinosaur themed hotel. Why? I don't know. Anyway, we continue on. Grand opening, so this is a brand new hotel. Okay, well, those are two actual birds on top of there. Those count, that's notable. Check birds off the list. Well, the good news is I found something very weird and interesting for the video. A bunch of animatronic dinosaurs hanging around in a hotel. Reasons I'll never understand. The bad news is we ended up on a big, boring, old, ugly, loud road. So let's go find a small, little Hoshigaoka street again. So all that parking, that's the park, this is where we walked earlier. Up there, we looped around there to here. This huge parking thing, it's like for these buildings, which I can't tell what they are. I can't really read the kanji. The gates are closed and they're all fenced off with these kind of imposing fences. It makes it seem kind of mysterious. Kind of like if you know what's in those buildings, then you're maybe supposed to be there. And if you don't know, don't ask any questions. When people ask you, what YouTube channel do you watch to see the best of Japan, the most beautiful of Japan? Keep T1D Wonder in mind, please. I mean, where else can you see this amazing view? What can I say? I like this kind of thing, just because it's real. I didn't know what was here. Now I'm finding out it's this. So I'm happy. That's the whole point of this wandering that I do. What's that like? Just go see it. I'm not hoping for anything, just want to see what it's like. Satisfying curiosity. That's what this is all about. And in the best way, it's also giving me lots of other things to think about, like what is all this? Industrial spectacle. All right, I hope this is a little path by the river so we can get off this main road because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Oh, golly. Let's see. Some kind of river. I don't know what river this is. Oh, you want to go down to the river? Let's do it this way. We're going to go down this path, which looks reasonably public, and see if we can figure out what the river is and find a good place to go down to it and see it. I mean, touch the water. Maybe not touch the water, it's probably horrifically dirty, but at least look at it up close. I feel like someone's gonna come arrest me for like industrial espionage, hanging around the perimeter of some mysterious looking building, like taking videos. Like, I'm just a guy on YouTube. They're like, yeah, right. The back entrance of a water purification facility. Come on, sir. Okay, we're somewhere. I think I missed my chance to go down to the water. There's no staircases here, and I'm not climbing through that. She just swam across the river. She's an escaped convict. Get her. There is a path down there, down on the river. Hoshigaoka is an unusual place so far. I can't really get a handle on it. There's a very hard to pin down vibe here. Some bicycles, but they do not seem abandoned per se. All right, this is probably the last chance to go down to the river. Let's do it. Okay, there's your river. And I saw a sign. This river is called the Amanogawa, which means the river of heaven. And like all rivers of heaven, there are dogs in it. 'Cause who doesn't love a dog? Look at those dogs. Fantastic dogs. They're what makes this river heaven. Quick blood sugar check, easy with my new CGM. 104. A little bit low for a guy walking around. Let's have a piece of chocolate. All right, let's go into some of the more charming areas of Hoshigaoka. And I think this is one. Look at this little park. Well, they love their parks out here. Little pagoda with, I guess, stumps to sit on. A landing strip for the world's smallest airplane. Do not enter, it says. Boy, that's a real shame. That was sarcasm, by the way. This is great, especially on a day like today where it's slightly hot, but not too bad. But you come over here under the trees. Uh-oh, what's up with the slide? You know what? This is kind of what I mean. This kind of paint, this is what I mean by a structure with old faded paint. That's exactly what I mean. It's only a set of staircase to this little slide, but I think I'm gonna count it just because I love its vibe. Look at that, look at that. What character, the scars of the decades. I bet it was brighter pink in its day too, but it's all been faded in the sun. There you go. Not actually that many people out for such a densely residential area. But when they do come out, plenty of sweeping to do. This is probably for people who clean the park, like they sweep off the paths, volunteers from the local neighborhoods come and sweep off the paths on Saturdays or something. Today, by the way, is what is today? Thursday. If you're watching this on Patreon on a Saturday or Sunday, like right when it comes out, then this was just shot 2 or 3 days ago. I am way up to my deadline. Okay, I'll watch another train go by and then we'll turn back around and go through those neighborhoods. Yeah. A lot of bicycles that look like they should be abandoned, but aren't quite. As soon as I say that, though, exactly what I'm talking about. Any bicycle with plants growing through the spokes, that counts. Something else to check off the list. The things getting checked off the list are going kind of slowly today, but there's another one. Am I lost? Ooh, is this a dead end or does it cut through somehow? That appears to be a dead end. Oh, it's a plant again. I get the feeling I haven't made it very far. Some more cool little figurines. Cat and duck on swings. I love how people, you see this a lot, like people sort of have a lot of their stuff, sort of old stuff, but kind of like beloved just things, just possessions, and they keep them, a lot of them outside. There's not a whole bunch of room inside, and these are kind of outside things, like pots of water and plants, but also just sort of various implements, because no one's going to steal them or anything. And it just, because in Japan, no one's going to steal it, especially in a place like this, then you have the option of just putting things outside, letting them sort of decay and get faded and rust and become part of the scenery of your domicile. I wonder if there's another side of the tracks. Not down there. Oh boy, I think I have to go all the way back down that big, no, I'm not doing that. All right, desperate times call for desperate measures. Going back to the little park where we just watched the train go by and see if I can get across the tracks there. Hey, trees cut into circles. These a little bit, these definitely. We got it. There's another one. When I did the last video like this from Anryumachi, when I was watching the footage back in my house later, I realized that on people's balconies, there were a lot of people out on balconies, like doing laundry or doing whatever on their balconies, and I didn't notice it when I was walking around talking. People on the balconies are going, what is that guy? Who is that? What is he doing? What's he talking about? So now I'm more aware of it. Okay. Actually, I see one thing now. See that rabbit? Little cartoon drawing on a sign. So check that off. Okay, we're back across the train tracks without having to retrace our steps. I'm gonna go down here, back through this tunnel, and explore the other side of the areas I haven't seen yet, and then I'm gonna walk to the next station. I'm gonna do all of that from this point in the extended version of the video. So I will cut this video here, and if you wanna watch more from my wanderings around here, please go watch the extended version. But at the end of the extended version, I will go through the checklist and see what we've checklisted off, something like that. So I'll see you very soon. Blood sugar is 110. Excellent. I'm going to take a shot and have my little meal here, and then I'll take the train home. I think I'm going to go back to the way that I was supposed to come this morning. I want to see if the Keihan line up there, the main Keihan line, see if it's cleared out. Anyway, here's the final checklist. Abandoned bicycle, yes. Weird, interesting sculpture or statue, or figurine, yes. Motor scooter, yes. Obachan with cart, yes. Notable bird, yes. Cartoon drawing on a sign, yes. Structure with old faded paint, yes, we're doing well. Hair salon, yes. Tree branches cut into circles, yes. Car elevator, no. And I'm a little surprised about that because of all the buildings and apartment buildings and stuff we saw. And a beer vending machine, no. So again, 9 out of 11. Pretty good for Hoshigaoka and, what is this station? Murano. I'm at Murano Station, by the way. Just finding that out for the first time. This is it. Ignore the crazy person behind me. This is how it's supposed to look. All cleared out, a few people moving, the traffic going quite well. So the crisis from this morning is over. My video is over. Boy, this lady is loud. She was here this morning when I was here. Finally, this video is ending. It seems like it's been about a week in a good way. But that's it, the whole crazy weird loop, trying to get to Hoshigaoka and exploring all that area. Check 9 things off our list. Thank you for coming with me on this kind of odd, unusual look at an odd, unusual place in Hirakata City. So thank you very much, and I will see you on the next adventure. Watch the extended ad-free version of this video, plus others, on my Patreon page. Special thanks in reverse alphabetical order this week to Will Phillips, Samantha, Ray Nichols, Omeyer, Nathaniel Holland, Michael Fedor, Matt Kane, Lever Wong, Jacob Fatz, David Richley, and Calvin Ferreira. Also, thanks to subscribers to my free weekly email newsletter. Links are in the video description. Thanks for wandering around with me.